Hello, I am here with my Amazement Invoked Dogmatika Shaddoll. I played it today and I didn't lose a game. I drew one, but I won the others, and it was a great fun deck. Yeah, just showing what I have. So I've done this by engines instead of the standard monsters, spells, traps, so it'll make stuff a lot easier. We have the terraforming and the 3 meltdown. It's just standard Alistair shenanigans. Most people will probably know these by now. A lot of people call me a monkey for doing this, but it's a lot of fun. I've been playing this since the Mech Knights. One of the most underrated abilities of Alistair is his boost to damage. It really helped me get over a lot of things today. I don't recommend playing 3 because it can just brick you, so 2 is usually the best ratio. Into the Dogmatika stuff. So we have, of course, the 3 Nadirs. Amazing card. I don't really see this getting hit, but I do have a card in here that I feel might be hit in the next ban list. So we have, of course, 1 Ecclesia, 1 Maximus, 1 Fleur-de-Lis.
Would you like to explain the Maximus?
The Maximus combos of Schism.
Oh.
So this is the card that I feel maybe hit, hopefully not, but yeah, it lets me send to, and I have some targets that I can send, as well as another spicy, quite spicy target in my extra deck that I like to send. So that's a lot of fun. As well as, of course, 2 punishments, which work really well in this deck, considering, of course, I play the Amazement stuff. So this is why it works really well, because every every trap I use just combos with the Amazements. They sort of all glue together because, for example, all of this being able to search for a spell, well not spell, trap, it just adds up. Okay, so now it's an amazing new deck. It's a bunch of fun. We have time tickets. The best thing about this is you can use it during the draw phase and completely dodge the draw. So if you do, then make sure you use this during the draw phase. And if you drew 2, it's not even an issue because you can use 1 during the draw phase, get your Arcolino, you can set it, and then you can use it during the opponent's phase. Sorry. And then you can set a one of the traps, which I have here, and you can use it that same turn. So it's really strong. 2 Arcolino. You shouldn't really play any more of this because it is searchable off the time tickets, so it's not really necessary. And 1 Comica, which can be really useful sometimes. It's good to search. And it has some really useful effects. Did come up.
So how did Comica come up when, because you are playing a very heavy normal summon deck, so...
To be honest, a lot of the time I ended up using Comica was when I actually was having to use my Alistair for damage boosts. So it became a target which was just really strong, and just being able to set any attraction is just really useful.
Okay.
As well as the effect that you can make one of your cards, instead of being on you, be on the opponent and vice versa. So that's a lot of fun. And I've maximized all of my traps because they all come up. And Arcolino's effect to banish these and pop something is so strong, and it at least forces a negate. So sometimes I was able to use this, it would force a negate, and I was able to then use my Alistair. So it was helping me do my monkey plays. So that's sort of the big main ones. Bunch of fun. It all works really well. I won the game today where I just went to Mechabur with 2 set, and because of the way the game went, I was just able to win it off that alone. Free Prosperity. I don't know why somebody wouldn't play this card. There's basically no downsides, and you get to pick what one. It's an extravagance, but you get to pick whatever one you need. So, you know, and I always find it very funny to see my opponent's face where I use this and I just get my meltdown. That makes them depressed, so that's nice. 1 call by. Sometimes the ash can hurt, so it's nice to have something against that. 3 ash myself. It's just really generic. You can always side in other things for it though. And of course, 3 Imperm, which is really cool because if you have it in Arcolino, you can actually summon him that way on the opponent's turn, so that's kind of fun.
Did you ever do that today?
It didn't come up today, unfortunately, because I didn't see both of them in my hand at the same time, but, you know, I've done it in theory against you a few times, haven't I?
Yeah. So one quick question I have is, I know this deck isn't very budget because of the like the Dogmatika stuff, but is there any budget replacements you think you could suggest?
Honestly, it's really hard to think of a budget. I guess instead of Prosperity, you can always use Extravagance, but there's a lot of cards in the extra deck which you do need, so it's kind of hard to use Extravagance. So
YuGiOh in 2021. Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of hard to play a competitive deck without splashing out a bit of money now, unfortunately. But, you know, that's just the way it is. It's very hard to replace Imperm in most of my decks since I play a lot of trap decks, so...
Okay, we'll move on to the extra then, I guess.
Alright. My extra is also quite organised. So, first we have the Ormirage and the Gardener. First thing is, why aren't you playing the... I think it's Magius?
Magistus, yeah.
That's because I play Maximus, and if you go from Alistair into Ormirage, link that off into this one, you are able to make your Macabre using this, and you have 1 in the graveyard, so you can banish it and summon out your Maximus.
You've told me as well about how a play that you did at Locals with this.
So I actually normal summoned Ash, went into Ormirage to then secure Gardener, and I was able to do my my shenanigans using the Ash normal summon. And honestly, the opponent's face when they ended up losing to an Ash normal summon was kind of priceless, so that's good just for the fun of it. Okay, we have Unicorn, which come up today, as well as this card.
Oh, okay. Explain this card for me.
This protects your set cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty much protection. You can send it off the Maximus, you can send it off the Punishment, and it's nice protection. It's not very commonly played, but in a deck which has so many set cards...
Just get out to the camera.
In a deck with so many set cards, like obviously the Horror House, the Amazement stuff, it can be very useful. And you know, since it's such a back row heavy deck.
One quick question I have as well. What about a lot of the higher impact traps, like Strike or Ice Dragon's Prison or Torrential? Why are they not in here, or is there just not enough room?
It's quite a tight deck. They're always side options. I mean, I definitely have access to them cards, but right now they're in my Trap Tricks, which I'm also going to be hopefully doing a deck profile for soon, since I actually topped with that. But you can definitely put them in. A lot of the reason why I'm just playing these, for example, is because they can all go off going second.
Okay.
So, you know, I like to keep my main as flexible as possible. Okay. Now we have my Invoked package. Raijin, Guades, 2 Macabre.
Okay, so how good was the Raijin today, or did it not come up?
Raijin, unfortunately, didn't come up, but if it's not going to come out because of the matchup, maybe they don't have any wins, it's just something that you can banish off Prosperity in the end. I mean, no matter what, you're always going to find a way, even if it's banishing.
Okay.
Guades actually won me a game today. It was really cool. Just popping a card that I couldn't get over and then boosting it up with a Mechaba in the grave. Honestly, it's a really strong card. It needs a lot more love.
I think you told me about a combo as well that you have with this. You can show it later on. But...
Yeah, I'll definitely show that later on. Don't want to... I know a lot of people, if they are watching, probably just want me to get to the point. Then we have the standard scumbag package. There's nothing else to say about it. It's Maximus plays that make everybody at my locals dislike me. And then we just have more targets.
Okay, so you're playing Omega but no Gamma, so how was that? Or
I didn't come up today, unfortunately, but I like to use this effect to during the opponent's standby phase, and that's always really fun. And this is my favourite Spice card. And it's very funny because I use it with Guades, and the whole reason is because Guades can banish a fusion in your grave and then gain its attack. So if I have this in my grave, Guades then has 7,000 attack. And it becomes like a mini Utopia double. So I've actually won a game with this a few times, and that was really fun. Then I have obviously the typical popping and the searching fleur-de-lis. So that's always nice. I mean, it's a really fun deck. Honestly, I recommend this to people. I mean, I won. Oh, I didn't win, to be honest. Somebody else actually beat me this tournament. I was undefeated, but you know, I did get a draw and they didn't get a draw, so that's unfortunate, but here is my side. So we have Free Phantasme. It didn't really come up today, unfortunately, because I have a lot of Zoo players. For example, Pure Zoo was there quite a lot, and that was kind of annoying. Because Zeus kind of hurts, but I think like Zeus with millions of materials hurts a lot of people, so that's a shame, but we like Phantasme. Nibiru is always useful. If you see it, it puts a lot of pressure on basically everyone. We have my Twin Twisters. There was no heavy spell or trap decks today, so this didn't come up, but you know, it's just a really good card. Cosmic isn't as good anymore in my opinion. I guess it's good against the Revolt reset, but I haven't played that one today. We have 3 evenly. I didn't end up siding this in today. I mean, to be honest, my deck's pretty strong as is, so I didn't need to bring this in. But a card that I did bring in and actually really helped me win a game, Solemn Judgment. I actually played a game today where I was very risky and I sided it in for game 3, and I actually won because of this card. I was very low, but you know, Arcolino Beatdown is very underrated.
So what are your overall thoughts on the deck?
Honestly, I think it's so fun, and there's so many different lines of play you can do. I mean, the likelihood is you're not going to see all 3 engines, but as long as you see 2 of them, that's usually more than enough. I mean, and you really can't sleep on Arcolino as well. As if you're against a trap deck, then every trap they activate triggers Arcolino, because if they use a trap, you get to summon him, and then you get all your shenanigans, and if they normal summon, you can use your Horror House, you can just flip it. A big trend of me is I love decks which can flip stuff, because I just think it's so funny to see the disappointment on your opponent's face when they see their big monster just being flipped. But it's a lot of fun deck. I recommend people to just give it a go on Dueling Book. I mean, you'll have a lot of fun with it. It's a bunch of joy.
Would you say this is like a final product build of the deck, or would you say it's like a work in progress sort of thing? Would you say there's room for improvement, or?
There's always room for improvement, in my opinion. I mean, there's always room for improvement because, especially with a ban list coming up, the meta's always going to change. There's always ways you can change and improve it. You can try different things. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to think about it throughout the week, and I'm probably going to find new things to change. Maybe changing my ratios. I mean, it's not out yet, but there's even new cards coming out for this deck. There's a new one, I don't remember what it does, but I remember saying it was very strong. So there's always new support coming out. So then in the end, one thing I always tell people in the Trap Trick group or everywhere, just play if you feel that you prefer it another way, then play it that way. I mean, you know, just play how you feel's best. I feel this is really strong though, so this would be a good starting point for anybody.
Okay. Any final words, or?
No, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so that's really exciting. So thank you for everybody who subscribed. And I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you.